Greetings, family, and welcome to another edition of Black Talk Radio, where black media matters and black life definitely matters. Today is Monday, August 27, 2018. Well, family, you've seen and heard about the mass shooting in Jacksonville, Florida, Madden NFL 19, where the gunman has been identified as douchebag David Katz, 24 years old, who shot and killed 2 people, injured roughly 9 people, before turning the gun on himself and killing himself. Anyways, family, we knew it was coming because this is a white male and because white supremacy operates on protecting and defending even their degenerates. It's come to fruition. This white male now is being held as mentally ill, where the headline says shooting suspect had history of mental illness. Now, family, to me, this begs the question, are all white people mentally ill? We should be asking that question. It is a legitimate question, because if they're going to keep using the excuse that this person, that person, and all of these people are mentally ill, then one has to question, are all white people mentally ill? Let's delve into this story a bit. So, family, you already know, here at Black Talk Radio, where black media matters, we do not sugarcoat the reality and the truth. And the fact is, this degenerate here, David Katz, needs to be talked about. We need to talk about this because, unfortunately, mainstream media is not telling the complete story, at least the way we need to understand it. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, family, we already know the gunman has been identified as David Katz, 24 years old. Now, one thing you can see in this picture, he's holding up a jersey that shows he was the Madden champ at Madden NFL 17. This is Madden NFL 19, where he was going up against a black a black gamer, and this particular black gamer was beating him and beating this degenerate fair and square. This thug decided to take out a gun and start shooting people, and that's exactly what happened. And what's so cold about it is the media right now, they're turning around and trying to make like this degenerate should be, well, slightly forgiven because he had mental issues. And again, and I'm going to keep saying this, that if we're going to continuously keep giving these people the mental illness card, then we have to surmise that all white people are mentally ill. And so when I say that, I know that doesn't sound good, especially if you are a white person, but what else could we come up with? What would you call it? So, family, you can see in this picture right here, this degenerate right here, you could even see it in his face. You can definitely see it in his eyes. People often say that the eyes are the windows of a person's soul. This man is soulless. He has no soul. You could see right through him, basically. He looks very, very troubled. So the question remains, why was he even allowed in this tournament? Why did people decide to trust someone like this? And so what they did was they trusted this man, and he went in there loaded with a couple guns. Not just one, he had 2 firearms with him. They claimed that he only used 1 gun, but nonetheless he had 2 guns with him, and he had extra ammunition. So this degenerate intentionally went to a gaming tournament to kill someone. So when I say that lamestream media is not telling the complete story, what I mean by that is the fact that his targets happen to be other black gamers. Black gamers who happen to beat him. So this guy was a sore loser. Being in the tournament before, okay? Being in the tournaments before and winning and staying alive, he decides this time, because there are black people who are better than him. Understand this concept here. Here he is, a white male, thinking that he's probably the best. He's probably been bragging online. He probably thinks he's the best. And he got a reality check. He got a little crack a wake-up call, if you will. Yeah, I know, you guys are gonna, that's racist, why did you say that? This degenerate deserves no respect whatsoever. I'm glad he's dead. He took innocent lives. You know, he took other people's innocent life. I'm glad this dog is dead. So family, the suspect in a deadly shooting at a Florida video game tournament had previously been hospitalized for mental illness, according to court records in his home state of Maryland, reviewed by the Associated Press. Divorce filings from the parents of 24-year-old David Katz of Baltimore say that as an adolescent, he was twice hospitalized in psychiatric facilities and that he was prescribed antipsychotic and antidepressant medications. Well, that simply doesn't matter. We don't care about his past. Poor Johnny. We just don't care. Why the media keeps doing this, I don't know. But I guess all things being fair, because after all, they do this with black suspects also, don't they? They'll go back into their history. So I guess they are doing the right thing. But to bring up his mental state, I would like to know what his criminal record is. Or how about his drug use? How about his grades in school? What were they like? You see, white media, you guys are very, very predictable on your racism. We see it so clearly that when we ask you these questions, these legitimate questions, like what type of criminal record he has, what type of grades he had coming up in school, what type of relationships he's had in the past. These are legitimate questions that you guys have failed to ask because it's nowhere in your article whatsoever. But I digress. It says, the records show Kat's parents disagreed on how to care for their troubled son. Well, there you have it there. He was a troubled son, with his father claiming his estranged wife was exaggerating symptoms of mental illness as part of their long and bitter custody battle. The couple divorced in 2007. So let's just get this straight. The wife has been claiming this all along, and the husband says, no, that's BS. So there's two sides to this story. Well, Katz opened fire Sunday at a gaming bar inside a collection of restaurants and shops along the St. Johns River in Jacksonville. He killed 2 people and wounded 9 others before fatally shooting himself during the Madden NFL 19 tournament, authorities said. Jacksonville Sheriff Mike Williams has declined to comment on the gunman's motive. Well, of course you're going to decline, because, after all, he sat there and targeted black gamers at this event, specifically. And, of course, you don't want to bring that up. You don't want to make that even known. Well, you just don't want to tell the truth. So, of course, all you're doing is testifying. Anyways, the suspect's father, Richard Katz, his father, Richard Katz of Baltimore, and his mother, Elizabeth Katz of Columbia, Maryland, did not respond to phone messages Sunday or Monday. Efforts by the AP to reach them at their homes were also unsuccessful. So, of course, the parents are hiding out. The parents don't want to be talked to. They don't want to be interviewed. They are hiding out. Now, isn't it funny how white parents, they always get the chance and the opportunity to hide out? Black parents, the media is all front and center in their living rooms and shit almost. Well, divorce filings say David Katz played video games obsessively as a young adolescent, often refusing to go to school or to bathe. His mother, Elizabeth Katz, a toxicologist who worked at the Department of Agriculture, said she would confiscate some of her son's gaming equipment after finding him playing games in the wee hours. Now, that happens to a lot of kids. We know this, but some kids, they don't go without bathing, and they don't go without going to school and doing the right thing. There are just some who are degenerates and some who are not. Using these things as excuses is just that. You're using all of these things as an excuse. His mother continues by saying his hair would very often go unwashed for days. When I took his gaming equipment controllers away so he couldn't play at 3 or 4 in the morning, I'd get up and find that he was just walking around the house in circles, the mother said, according to the transcript included in the court files. At one point, she put his gaming controllers in her bedroom behind the locked door, and he punched a hole in the door, she said. So you can hear how this little rat right here, he was just obsessed with video games. And a lot of these white kids are, and I say that in particular because a lot of them, I end up playing gaming online sometimes. I end up coming across these little devils, constantly using the N-word, constantly saying nigger, constantly. I mean, and they say it as if their parents taught them how to say it. That's what's so cold about it, is they say it as if their parents taught them how to say it. Because I'm wondering how these little rats end up being so foul, talking about black people as if they know who we are. These are little rats. They end up turning into little murderers. So she says Elizabeth Katz said her youngest son had increasing difficulty concentrating Following his parents' split, a judge awarded custody of the boy to his mother with visitation rights to the father. At times, David, curled up in a ball, refused to attend school and sobbed, she said. She asserted that her ex-husband instructed David not to take risperidone, an antipsychotic medication prescribed to him. The father claimed in court filings that David was not diagnosed as psychotic. So here it is, the mother wants him to take some drugs so she can just get rid of him, right? Get him out of her hair. And the father is saying, no, he doesn't even need those drugs. What are you doing? This little kid is a basket case. I wonder how many other white families have little degenerates, little rats like him running around in their families. So I'm going to repeat this one more time because you know what? I'm going to end this off right here. I'm not even going to finish the rest of this because this little dirtbag really doesn't even deserve the 16 plus minutes that I've given to this little jackass. He's a little douchebag. He's a loser. Once a loser, always a loser. He died a loser. He really did. This guy died a loser. And let it be known, all you other little white gamers, that if you guys are like him, you're a loser too. You're so pathetic. And so, I have to say, when I read this part that this little kid, this little rat, it would sometimes ball himself up and wouldn't go to school and he'd sit there crying. He was trying to have his little privilege. He was trying to have his way, that's all. This little dirtbag, I do not feel bad for him, not at all, not even the slightest. Anyways, this is Guru at Black Talk Radio, where black media matters. The question remains, are all white people mentally ill? That is the question. Are all white people mentally ill? If not, then you need to stop using this lame excuse every time you get into some trouble. Otherwise, we're going to have to assume and surmise that all of you are mentally ill. Peace out.